What's going on? Here we are with the 420 episode of Smoking That Ish. I am Martimus, of course. With me, as always, is Binks.
Saw dudes.
Got BK working the ones and twos, doing his
Hello.
thing. We are gonna do, since it is the 420 episode, and we could not get the people to interview that we were hoping to get. We are gonna do an extended episode, and we are reviewing two kinds of bud today. And then we're also going to be talking about Badlands Cannabis and what's going on with them and what they're doing, that whole thing.
And if you're not familiar, by the end of it, you should be.
Yeah, right. And if you have heard a little bit about it, but you haven't heard a lot, we should catch you up to date on what's going on, you know? So yeah, we went and we smoked, what was that one called? Power Nap.
Hold right here, hold up.
Power Nap.
So for the record, by the way, we went to Canacare today. I have never been there.
Yes, so I had to take
Honestly?
him to Canacare because they opened at 8 a.m. and we wanted to start going as soon as possible today.
I've never been there.
Canacare, props to Canacare on your hours of operation, dude. It's what? It's 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. 7 days a week.
Yep.
That is outstanding. Your dedication is appreciated.
And I will say your guys' selection is good and different compared to the others. So I was impressed, honestly. I like that place. Prices are decent. They're not as good as
But they're on
Mitchell's.
their way down too, is the thing.
Yeah, it
like
is on
they
the way to
have
where we're
lowered
at.
their prices since the last time I was in there. Their pre-rolls are $3 less, you know, and it's coming down.
It's
you
still
know? People are doing what
$60
they
for
can.
an
It's
eighth.
still more than it is at Superior Buds, but they also have different buds.
They do have different cultivators too. That is
Yeah,
another thing. They have different
that
cultivators.
Power Nap, we smoked that before the show, and as you can tell, it had zero effect on me. I don't feel any different at all. I mean, I feel like this is how I woke up today, you know?
with the
and I
Captain Morgan shades on, just ready to go.
I mean, this is how I live life.
Gummy
you know?
worm swinging, ready to go, dog.
Yeah, fucking right. I look like a gummy worm, dude.
We don't talk about it. Anyways, this Power Nap is from Rare Earthcraft Cannabis. I ain't never had them before.
First time I've ever heard of them. We also got a pre-roll from them that was a strawberry gelati.
I will say y'all packed it just a little wrong.
Yeah, but
But
that aside, it smelled fantastic. It tasted amazing, and it burned forever, dude. I mean, that thing burned a long time for as small as it was.
man, I'm gonna say right now, since we're actually inside and I can see this, this Power Nap, it looks really pretty. That being said, a little scraggly.
Yeah, but
It's a little scraggly. It does smell really nice. It is super keefy, nice and light,
I mean,
and it smacks.
if you got anxiety issues, man, that'll put them right to sleep. I tell you what,
or make them worse. It depends.
No. That should make you feel good. That should make you calm down, feel nice. I mean, don't smoke too much, I guess, but
If you got something to do, definitely don't be smoking too much of that.
for sure, dude.
Here, let's hop on this this subject. I kind of wanted to touch on that.
Before you do that, let's finish reviewing that
Oh,
bud, because it's got a good smell to it.
it
for
does.
Sure.
It does.
100%, very good smell.
It's bright colored too. I'll give it that. It's got
I
some
was
nice color in
surprised
it.
by the taste when I first hit it, and I was also kind of surprised by the strength. The first time I took a rip off of it, it was
That
very
nasty
nice.
ass wrap that you got did not do it justice.
man. I don't know why you don't like black licorice shit. It's
'Cause I'm
probably because
normal fucking person. That's
he
why,
was
dog.
raised- he was raised by the ladies.
That don't mean shit.
I know. I was.
BK, do you like black licorice?
No.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, but
I'll text 30 people right now and ask them if they like black licorice.
I bet none of them is cool, dude.
There's the only person I know who likes black licorice. I think he's one of my coworkers. I think he might. And if he,
Tell me what's wrong with him. Go ahead.
nah, he's vibing, dude. Honestly, if more people in the world were like my coworker, I'd vote him for president. He's
Oh,
he's
shit.
the type of guy. So like, if you're doing something wrong, right? He's not gonna be like, oh hey man, you're doing this. He's gonna
Can't
look. He's
vote,
gonna
can
look.
you?
Yeah, I can. I'm not a felon.
No shit.
My felonies got knocked. For the
Nice.
record, sir. Be smart, kids.
Yeah, right. Don't
Sorry.
ever let a felony land, dude. That's
No.
that's
My
bad news, and that's expensive to get out of that too.
nope. My felonies are gone. That's how I got my med card. That's another way you know. And
Fantastic.
also, I can buy guns. So no, I'm as good as it gets.
I don't think you can have a med card and buy guns.
You can. Okay, so actually, speaking on that, you cannot have a med card and I'm not going to say that you can't have a med card. Having a med card may prohibit the purchase of firearms for you, is the way that goes.
Mm.
That being
I know they
said,
did some stuff federally, but I
that's what. So like, if you have your med card and you
Watching
like go to
anything
grab
on the
and you go to
news is
grab
so
yourself a
upsetting.
new rifle or something, it may prohibit you. But if your med card is inactive or you've had these beforehand, or you get it after your med card expires and then you end up getting a new med card, I don't think it will prohibit you. And even right now, I don't think it'll prohibit you a whole lot. But I do know that there is a possibility of it prohibiting you. When I was reading through it, when I applied for mine, that was one of the things that said this may prohibit you from the purchase of firearms. So it's not that you cannot have them.
No,
It's
I
just that
enjoy, I
you
enjoy what
may
the
not
other
be able to
people- I enjoy
purchase
what
them
other
as
guys
easily.
say. You know, other guys, what they say. You know, like I personally don't have any guns. I lost mine in a boating accident. So those are gone for. I mean, they've gone forever.
Was it a nice boat?
No, it was a pretty cheap boat. It really was
Well,
probably irresponsible to have them out there.
Oh damn, dude!
But a lot of
You got to
just
start
go
making.
fish.
You got to really make better decisions with your
You know,
life.
well, you ever try and pull in a catfish that you can't pull in? You know, you want backup. Take them down.
The little 357 real quick.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. I'm pretty sure where I got mine. Someone told me. I mean,
I'd Scarface a fish for sure.
Well, what's nice? What's also nice though about South Dakota is we got that what is it? What is it called? Third party sale. Is that what it is? Third party sale. So,
oh yeah.
yeah, so
where
like,
you can buy like
I can
guns at
personally
gun
I can
shows and
personally
stuff.
sell you my gun and it's legal.
Yeah.
A lot of states don't do that, and that's another thing where it could fuck with you.
Well, they're trying
the card
they're
aspect.
trying to pass a lot of laws and stuff to fuck.
They're trying
with
to do a lot of
everybody
things with guns now. Is what they're trying to do.
And I let people have guns. It's not a gun problem. It's not it's a mental health problem. We have a complete lack of mental health help for people.
My pencil failed my test, not me, bitch.
Yeah, well, it's bad.
Same.
That's pretty bad. I just think like when we closed down all the mental health facilities all those years ago because the mental health facilities were horrible.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, and everyone's
Now
getting
you got-
fucked around and shit.
Now you got a bunch of people that want to help people and they don't have jobs and they're, activists. They want to do stuff and help people. I got to move this over because I'm fading in and out.
I've been doing it the whole time.
But,
the whole time.
you got all these people that want to help people. There's a job where you can help people that need help. And then that'll also help with the homeless population thing because then you got mental health people going around. Back in the day, if somebody was walking around the street talking to themselves, shitting in their own pants,
They would go, "Hey man, are you all right?
a couple guys in a van would pull up and be like, "Excuse me, sir, we're gonna take you to talk to a friend of ours. Would you mind putting on this really long sleeve jacket?" and then that person would go. But the facilities were terrible back then.
Yeah, they were.
If
They
we
were real
had
bad.
up to date, facilities, open new facilities instead of new places to shoot up, open up new places to get mental help, and make that state funded.
There's also there's honestly
I'll pay
also
more
some-
taxes. I'm a big fan of the flat tax idea. Call it 13% and just cut it across the board. I don't whatever.
13% me motherfuckers.
Whatever, dude. Fuck it. Everybody throw in 13%. Everybody pays the same amount of tax on what they make, and we all get on with our lives.
Essentially, but then you start digging into bigger problems.
Well, the people got, they got all these different ways to avoid that and to get out of it, and big corporations.
Well, yeah,
are
but here's the
giving
thing though: if you
special
start doing
tax
if you
breaks,
start
and
doing
that's-
things like that, like what about your farmers when they got to use that for a tax write off every year?
use what for a tax write-off?
Motherfuckers need a truck. They're farmers, right? That is an asset to their job. That is a taxable write off. You'll notice a lot of farmers got new trucks because, well, one, they need them, and two, it's a tax write off. It's just
That's
I don't know, it's
crazy.
just a loophole. Yeah, you
Huh.
didn't even know about that.
Combines are expensive as
You
shit.
didn't even know about that?
No, I didn't know.
Daycare is a tax write off. Daycare is a tax
Yeah,
write
but
off.
you got to be like state certified to be able to write it off tax free.
But like your kid's going to a daycare, you can get that money back at the end of the year. And that is a write off for you. So say I put the boys
as
in
much
daycare.
as daycare costs nowadays, you should get.
That's what the
some of
fuck
that
I mean,
money
dude. You know
back,
how much
dude.
daycare is, man? That's
Back
just
when I
like
was
$600 a month.
I only paid daycare at one time in my life, and it
$600
was-
a month if you're
My
lucky.
rent at the time was $450 a month, and my daycare bill every month was $800, whether the kids went or not. And a lot of times they couldn't go because the lady that was doing the daycare, her and her husband were constantly on vacation. Yeah, that was in Huron, dude. That was a rough situation.
Ooh,
I worked at McDonald's. Had to do that.
Fuck that. See, daycare is expensive as hell, but that is a tax write off. That is a tax write off. All of these rich people, and they go, how do you think these motherfuckers get jets? If you're smart about it, just write it off.
Man.
I don't know.
No.
I got to travel, dude. Here it is. Here's my asset. I need to
Yeah,
travel
but
to
then
work.
you see a lot of these rich people getting caught up in tax evasion and tax fraud cases too. Eventually,
That's why you just got to be smart
And then
about it and do it correctly.
Smart about it. I mean,
You got to do it correctly, though. It's got to be for legitimate reason. When
it
you start
has
being,
nothing to do with
when you start-
legitimate reasons. Now it has to do with who you piss off. If
I mean,
you-
kind of, yeah.
I mean, if you do some shady shit and put out a bad tweet, people are gonna send you to prison, dude.
You'll get fucking.
Yeah, you gotta be.
Twitter's
careful,
ruthless,
man.
bro. Twitter's fucking
mob
ruthless.
That mob is unreal, dude.
Twitter is fucking ruthless.
Anyway, that power nap was pretty good. Did we talk about? Man, that
we were
power
saying
nap was
something about
delightful,
something.
dude. The rare
I will
earth,
say, though,
rare
honestly-
earth, props to you.
I will
Never
say though,
tried it
honestly
before,
though,
man.
for it being called power nap, I don't want to go to bed.
No, that's what I'm saying. I like powerful weed that usually puts other people to sleep. That's my comfort zone, dude.
I'm also a little bit hungover, and that helped a lot.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
earned that hangover though. It was worth it. I'm sporting the Cloud9 hoodie again because much love, Cloud9.
Fucking
Just-
right.
I mean, the selection, the stuff the guy's got, and he's passionate about his shop, so it helps.
All right.
Oh yeah. We're gonna
So-
we're gonna jump into maybe talk about. I don't know. I want to first off state that he's been more into it than I am. I don't really know much about the legal side.
And
of
that's
things.
and then that's the thing is with this, I'm gonna go through both of them. I'm gonna go through each side.
Yeah,
of the
we're
situation.
gonna give both sides because we heard that if you just read one of them, it's very biased.
It is.
And we don't wanna be
if you just
biased
read
towards anything,
if
'cause
you
once
really
again-
just read one, it comes off one sided.
Yeah. Once again, I don't know.
But for
much,
those who don't
so-
know, because I haven't really said anything yet. It's there's a lawsuit going on with what is it technically called? The 605 Cannabis, I believe, is there. Yep, 605 Cannabis. Has recently filed a lawsuit against the Department of Health, which beforehand the Department of Health was suing 605 Cannabis. I think it was for about $36 million.
Holy shit.
Yeah, no, it was a huge fucking thing. But the other day I seen that the company was suing.
So that would that you think that amount would like shut them down?
Oh, 100%.
You think that would be it?
That's
for them?
that's the first thing I read. So like this right here that I'm going through, they say that they're trying to sue the Department of Health for about $1 million or more.
Okay, so did the Department of Health sue them first, or did they sue the
Department of Health first. Department of Health started it,
Started it, okay,
and then they're
tried.
counter suing.
Okay, so the Department of Health came at them and tried to sue them for an amount that would have shut them down.
Probably. That's the
Okay,
first thing
so
I haven't seen
I
any.
understand if that if that's so, I would understand a retaliation suit.
Oh yeah, 100%.
sure.
But I also have not seen another large number like that. That was the first one, so I would just assume that that's what they're going with is that 35, 36 million because this is a big industry, dude. 35, 36 ain't nothing.
Yeah,
to
but if they just started up and they don't have that kind of because
oh, of course not.
you can't
of
get
course not.
insurance or anything. Can
They
you?
probably put like 3 million in just to get started.
Are they able to even get insurance?
No, you cannot
Yeah,
get insurance
so-
right now. You can't. Maybe, but here's the thing: is you can't get loans. So like, if I wanted to go open, if I got my own state licensed cultivation, I wanted to go get my own building and shit. I'm not getting a loan for it. You won't get one. It's not federally legal.
Yeah.
Plus,
yeah,
you can't
so
get insurance
go
on.
through the
Plus, you
banks.
can't get insurance on the building right now
Dude.
because of the fact of what you're doing. No one place is going to insure you,
Man,
so you
but
won't get insurance. So you literally have to
Can we just stop messing around? Just legalize it federally. Just stop playing games. Like
Day by day.
everybody's grown adults. Let's just legalize weed federally. Let's stop chasing people around for a dime bag and trying to throw them in prison and everything, and then we'll focus on real drugs.
All right. So what?
You know?
This
And
actually
even
this- shit like this, shit like this though is some of the issues that we're having. They called it a medical cannabis recall, but here it says there was 49 pages of court filings obtained and just against the 605 Cannabis Company. Now I'll go through the first one because there's how many are there? There's 9 findings, so to speak. There's 9 basically real big topics on the issues.
Yeah.
So I'll just run through them real quick. The first one is the failure to test cannabis intended for consumption prior to transfer for retail sale.
Okay, so that means that the dispensaries are required to test what they get,
Yes.
from places
Yes,
themselves.
that means they do have a testing facility in Flandreau, and I would assume that's probably just the best
so
one.
does the person selling the weed, the person who grows it, do they also have to get it tested?
I think I don't know yet. I do not know yet.
Don't they have to get it tested?
I would
to make
assume.
it
I would assume that. I would
available for
assume that they have
dispensary
to.
use?
I would assume that they have to. But here's the thing, though: is if
Well,
you don't have to,
I wouldn't imagine the dispensary would buy weed then test it to see if they could sell it.
but
I
you
just
never
don't
know.
think that's how people would do it.
Well, no. But here's the thing: they were a big company though, so if you're a real big company and you're just buying in from everything you get, and they're like, "Well, I haven't tested it yet," it's like, man, we need to stock our shelves. Fucking give it to me, right? Fucking give it to me. We'll
I
get
don't
it
know,
tested,
man.
right? But
I think
anyway,
that-
so
I think
that's
that'd be a bad idea.
so that's the first one. And then so that's the health department side of it. Basically failure to test their cannabis intended for consumption. They didn't send it to a lab. They didn't get the proper work done. That's what the Department of Health is saying. 605 Cannabis claims it has provided proof of testing for all products alleged to have not been tested prior to transfer for retail sale.
Was that English?
Probably not. But it said that they gave them the proof. It said that's essentially what they're going with. They said you didn't test your shit, and they're basically saying we gave you the proof.
Oh, okay. So their main infraction was not. Didn't they say something about not having the paperwork on site or something?
It does not dwell into the It doesn't dwell into the if it was on
that
site
might
or
have
not.
just been some ish.
But
Disregard
so
that.
honestly, right now on the 605 side of things, that's really not a good response. Is it claims to have provided the proof and testing for all the products, but
Okay,
if
good on
they
them.
don't have it and they didn't find it, that doesn't look good on you. That's like a cop finding your weed and being like, "Hey man, is this yours?" And like, "Oh, it ain't mine. No, fucking found its way in my pocket." That's the vibe I get from that. Anyways, number 2, the addition of Delta 8 and terpenes to the cannabis. So whether it's additives is essentially what they're going for. There was a huge thing with their edibles.
So they were accused of adding.
There was
stuff.
you remember the edibles in the carts?
I remember that
those were Delta
the
products.
Rice Krispie treat was supposedly straight Delta,
And so was the
and so
Pineapple
was the
Express.
Pineapple Express
Yep.
cart. That's what I've heard.
And then
that's what
also
people
like
said.
Flandreau, they were adding terpenes, and you're not supposed to add terpenes to the state dispos.
Oh, in Flandreau.
Flandreau can do whatever the fuck they want.
Yeah,
Honestly,
Uh,
they do what they
I
want.
don't
and get
really,
away
I don't
with it.
really go over there, man.
I don't. All I know is they can do what they want. But
Yeah.
but anyway, 605 says that while the products do contain delta and terpenes, they're claiming that they were natural.
Okay.
They're
I
claiming
mean, they are naturally occurring.
and they
things
say
in
and it
weed,
says that
so-
the proof of testing was provided for all terpenes which were naturally botanically derived and FDA approved.
FDA approved terps. I didn't know that.
Yeah, they got to be
Nice.
FDA approved. They got to be safe for consumption
Magical.
because terpenes can be made up of a couple different things, honestly. So you gotta play it right. You can't be giving people chemicals and bullshit.
No. Yeah, especially if you mix it into like
Mhm.
cartridges, because when that vaporizes, certain
And,
things like vitamins in there will
Yeah,
become bad
yeah.
for you.
And
So you can't add anything to that stuff.
And 605 Cannabis's response to that is essentially that there's no rules on the presence of delta. Like in the thing, there's no rules on the presence of it.
And what does that mean?
Like your shit can have delta in it, and that's fine. But like, was it 100% delta? Because then you're just fucking people
Yeah,
over.
because that's what I
Then
heard.
you're just fucking people over. That because I'm telling you right now, I tried that Pineapple Express cart. That gave me a headache. That gave me one hell of a headache, bro, for no reason. One hell of a headache, and I only get that from Delta. But
I smoke weed.
yeah, but so they're saying that it was there and it was natural. 605 requests the department to provide statutory or administrative authority for the prohibited use of Delta
Those are big
terpenes.
ass words, man.
Yeah.
I wish they just write shit out.
Ah.
Regular.
Here, let's see.
Or teach us how to law speak in school.
Is finding number
I
4.
don't want to have to go to law school to learn what the fuck you're saying in the newspaper.
Finding number 4, the failure to remediate and non-usable batch of cannabis, failure to follow operating procedures, and failure to have functioning security cameras. So,
Well, yeah, but is that lawsuit are both the lawsuits like currently ongoing?
yes,
Oh,
Yes.
okay. So there's current.
yes, okay.
Okay, so
and see, what the thing is how this all
they're in a standoff right
how
now.
this all started is apparently that the Department of Health came through for an inspection while nobody was there, and that's a big thing that they were talking about. Is like, hey, we weren't here,
Well,
we
yeah,
weren't
but
staffed, we weren't
isn't it
ready.
supposed to be properly set up.
Yeah.
No matter what.
Yeah, You're
So, I mean,
operating a multi-million-dollar fucking
yeah. So they,
state
I mean,
facility. You better have that up and running, or they're gonna come shut you down.
you can say that that's like not neighborly to do. Like, come on, man. People don't do that, normally. But at the same time,
But that's their job,
if
though.
it's in the
That's their job.
rules and they can do it, there's really
Mhm.
nothing you can do about it.
So 605 claims due to limited staffing while the business was closed, the inspector had been misinformed about destruction of cannabis. So they got rid of some weed and didn't have the proper paperwork saying how, when, and what, whatever.
Well,
how they did.
or somebody just said the wrong thing
Yeah.
to the person. It could have been, an employee or something, and the inspector shows, and you're,
Yup.
you get kind of flustered, and you say something stupid that doesn't make sense, and it's not really what you do. I understand that.
The company says that no cannabis was destroyed that would have required following operating procedures for remediation or destruction.
Yeah, because they said that everything that was in there was naturally occurring. So
Yup.
if everything that's in there is naturally occurring, there's no reason to destroy it because there's nothing wrong with it.
And you'll like this. So the company also says they had fully functional cameras at the time of inspection.
Yeah.
But that they did reconfigure the system afterward, of which they informed the DOH. But that's another thing. If you reconfigure it afterwards, then it's fine now. But you didn't have that then.
Yeah,
you didn't have that.
It's all what you had at the time of inspection.
You are a very, very big company, and maybe not like super huge, but you got a lot of money into your company. And I'm gonna tell you right now, if that was me, and I'm like, oh man, my cameras weren't up right now, but they'll be up tomorrow, I'm gonna get fucking beat up. They'll tear my ass up.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that was their responses. It was there, just not yet. Failure to fix the facility with. Oh, by the way, the security cameras at your facilities got to be permanent fix.
Oh, they can't be temporary.
No, they can't. They can't be no fucking.
Walmart.
They can't be no ring bell motherfuckers on each door. No, it's got to be like a security system. 605 says that a blind spot in their camera network was found during the inspection, and a new camera had been installed to address the issue. Now you're kind of
a blind spot during the inspection.
Well, you got to think though, on top of
and they remedied the situation.
And, well, then they're like, okay, well, here's the thing though, is with the Delta, and then with the possible this cannabis wasn't tested or this wasn't accounted for.
Well, that would be a great reason to not destroy the product.
Yep.
If you say that they are naturally occurring, and that's what you're saying, I would not destroy that either. I would wait till the court cases are over, and then I would see what the court says about destroying that, because that's a lot of product, and if it's naturally occurring, then they're going to be out a lot of unnecessary money right there.
So honestly, for me, so far, it's not looking the greatest, because like I get what they're saying, but almost in my opinion, it's kind of like a hey man,
making excuses after the fact.
Almost
after the fact, like
but covering well.
Well, yeah, I mean, taking care of
that's
the
how it's going,
problems that they found, but at the same time, if it was a restaurant and they had found like, oh shit, you got raw shit over here that ain't supposed to be there, and it's mixing with
everyone's going home.
They would have got shut down.
Everyone's going home, and this isn't a business, right?
Yeah. So if there was too much Delta 8 being sold as cannabis, even if that's not against the rules, people aren't going into your place to buy Delta 8.
No.
No. They're going in there to buy cannabis.
If I want to go buy Delta 8, I go to the gas station down the road.
Exactly.
Yeah, they got that shit everywhere.
No thanks.
Anyways, finding 12 is what they say, but the next one here, the failure to provide computer access to cameras or to verify the recording ability of the camera system. So essentially,
so they wouldn't even let them check the computers.
Well, what this says here is that they showed them camera access on a phone. They said, "Yeah, man, here's the camera."
No.
Yeah, they said, "Here's the cameras." But at the same time, they're also saying that there's nothing that explicitly states that it must be computer access. So there's nothing that really says you can't show him on a phone. He's got to look into your computer.
Well,
but I figure that's just kind of common sense.
The rules that much, but that sounds like you'd have to have better access than just a phone.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
To your security system.
You are
a
multi-million-dollar
business.
Yeah, and if someone's like, "Yeah, man, check out my fucking Ring doorbell app."
Yeah, I go to the bathroom and drop this in the toilet, and we can't check the cameras anymore. Come on, that's
But
yeah.
that one's shiesty. Here's one.
It seems like they're making a lot of excuses after the fact, in which you can let a few things go, But if you're trying to correct 15 problems all after the fact, and then going, "What's the big deal?" Big deal is that you had unusual number of problems.
An unusual number of very relatable problems to
Yeah.
very
Blind spots
suspicious activities.
In a business where, I mean, just the way it's set up right now, whether anybody likes it or not, the government needs to see everything that's coming in or out of your building, and you have a blind spot in your security system. I mean, if that blind spot was by a door or something like that, that could be a huge issue.
Because that could be someone in backdoor and some shit.
It could
That's
be
exactly what it is.
Could be all kinds of stuff.
We're
We're not saying anything because we don't know. We're just
I really don't know, but
just throwing out theories.
that's just what if I was the government looking at that, and I'd look at it and be like, oh, you're trying to backdoor some black market shit. That's how I would look at it.
If I had seen,
that's how I would look at it.
If you were the inspector and you saw something like that, you'd definitely be.
You got blind.
Some shit's up here.
You got blind spots. I can't see this. There was things about shit being destroyed.
Besides on your one phone,
and you're just giving Delta something sus, right?
Which how can a phone? Because don't you have to keep? Do you just have to have live feed, or do you have to have recordable cameras? Don't you?
Both.
So a phone can only store so much.
Both. It has to be both.
Yeah, so a phone can only store so much.
From what I've read, it's got to be both, because you got to have that somewhere. You can watch it, but even if you watch it live, you still have to have that at least. I suppose
you have multiple, cards to put in the phone.
Yeah, so say every 2-3 months, whatever you've been recording or whatever, if you don't have the space, obviously delete it, because if nothing's happened in the past month or two,
I don't know. They probably have to save for
honestly,
a certain amount. Yeah, they probably got to save for a certain amount of time in case something comes up.
I fucking would.
I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, the federal government's being pretty hard on them every way that they can. And, they really got to be careful. They got to mind their P's and Q's, because they're trying to shut them down. They're trying to find a reason, especially in South Dakota. They're trying to find them, find a reason to just shut the whole thing down, make them start over, whatever.
All right. So check this. Finding 20.
And if you probably get charged with something like that, you probably can't.
No, you're fucked.
Yeah, you can't open another store or anything like that, man.
You are fucked.
And that's everybody that's doing it. I mean, some people are doing it to try and just get money, but a lot of people are doing it because they've been passionate about weed their whole lives.
And honestly,
to get your dream career,
since it's the start of the industry in the state too, it's not a good look. So far, not a good look.
I look like a chewed piece of blue gum right now. Fucking, what's up, Winter Fresh?
Oh, all right. Finding 20 that they say. The failure to provide pesticide application certification for agent applying pesticides. So essentially,
so they should have pesticides that they did not say.
That's what the Department of Health is saying. That's a big
no. That would personally, since I have like lung disease and stuff, if that were true, I mean that'd be enough for me to never mess with them again.
Oh yeah, 100%.
If you have pesticides in your stuff, it's done. I'm no longer buying from you. I don't care what you do. So that would be a game changer.
605 is saying though that there are no pesticides products requiring a pesticide applicator were being used by the facility, and that
so they're saying that the pesticides we were using are not required to be reported.
They were essentially saying that we weren't using pesticides, we weren't allowed to. You were wrong.
Okay,
that's their comeback on that. So all right, cool, I get that. That might be a thing.
I mean, regulations are regulations. What the hell do I know what pesticides are good?
I don't know what the fuck I don't know what you're using, and I know there's shit you can and cannot use, but they're saying that they didn't do that.
What pesticides are you using in your grow?
Fly strips. Just some sticky fly strips. I haven't really had pest problems yet.
Wow, that's just I don't know if I want to try that stuff.
Fucking knock on
got fly strip residue on
I got them up in the corners. Got them up in the corners. Smoke bugs then. Smoke bugs. Full? No, none actually. None on there.
Nice.
Yeah. So I can either put some fly strips in the corner of my tent away from everything, or you can smoke some bugs. You pick.
No. I think I think as far as like I just like the fact that you're not using any kind of chemical pesticide.
No, not right now.
See, it can be done.
There is one.
Even though he's just growing in a small tent, let's say you're growing in a bigger tent, you just got more fly strips. You got to set up in a way that those catch the bugs.
Well, I just put them in there just in case.
In the soil.
I put them in there just in case up top, because I know that's probably.
I'm just saying that is an issue. No, I'm gonna run into it. Find a way to grow without pesticides and still come up with a good crop. That's the number one way to go.
Well, yeah, but you get some of those and you can't get rid of them, bro. You can't get rid of them motherfuckers.
Well, that would be like anything like a hog barn or anything else. If
Mhm.
you get a certain disease,
But
in it,
there
you
are
gotta clear
certain
it out.
pesticides you can use. I know, what is it?
So that would be like, if you're growing in a certain place and you get a certain kind of bug that, just ruins crops, clear all the crops out of that place,
Captain
sterilize
Jack's.
it.
Captain Jack's.
What's that?
Captain Jack's is a pesticide. I know a couple people that have used it. It's something to use very lightly,
I know Captain Morgan.
but it fucking wipes out all your issues. And if you if you use it correctly, then it's good. I'm not sure how other people feel about it, and I haven't had to use it, so I don't know. But I've heard that was a decent one.
Captain Jack's like JACKS or JAX? Is it trying to be cool?
Oh, I think it's JCK.
Okay. Just in
it's gotta
case,
be CK.
just in case people are interested and they want to check it out,
I think it's regular Jack's.
want to make sure they send in the right or type in the right thing.
But I've heard that was
When
good
they
too.
give
But
it a
that's
goog.
that's one of them motherfucker. That's one of them pesticides that'll just it'll wipe it all out. If you need it to, it'll wipe them out. But I haven't had that issue. So that's one thing they were saying about pesticides. One here is the failure to provide a food service establishment license for edibles.
Ouch.
But the company's saying that they do have their license and everything. Just the people that were there when the inspection was done weren't educated enough to tell them or direct them in the right direction.
Then why were they there?
Well, because they can come in whenever the fuck they want.
Do other jobs, I suppose.
And that was a big thing is, well, y'all came when we weren't there. We weren't ready. Well, you don't have that. You honestly
don't you have to have somebody there ready all the time?
honestly don't think you should have that leeway of, well, I wasn't ready. Well, you're fucking bringing in a lot of money,
Dude, wouldn't that be
motherfucker.
nice? You get pulled over and you're like, "Hold on, officer, I wasn't ready yet."
Give me about 20 minutes.
If
Let
you
me
could
clean
just
out my
turn
car.
around, turn around, look at the bird. Look at the bird over there. Turn around, give me about 15 minutes. I'll be ready to talk to
Here's
you.
a fucking
sir.
here's a Polaroid. Give me some good ones real quick, like something. But like that's that one's
That one hurts.
And it's just, but yeah, because you gotta have someone there, and especially if it's like a small business. Yeah, you can have your
It seems like there's too many allegations to say that they weren't at fault on stuff because they definitely made some mistakes.
these mistakes wouldn't be coming up if there wasn't something behind them.
I mean, 100%.
Yeah.
Some of these mistakes are quick fixes, but some of these mistakes are mistakes.
Yeah,
man.
some of these are actual mistakes. Like that, they were making their edibles and they didn't have the licensing. That's the same thing as me opening up a restaurant downtown without no paperwork, no nothing, being like, yo, here you go. That's essentially how it would contrast into normal layman's terms. That's about how you can view that. Normal layman's terms.
Smart people over here.
Yeah. Hold up. Oh, I'm totally reading all this off of just Google real quick because I looked over this a couple times.
Yeah.
When I was,
Hey, what's the other one? We should get to the other one.
what other one?
Or is this both sides?
No, this is both sides. I'm going through one and one.
Well, I'm feeling like it's looking kind of one-sided.
That's. But then, so you think about it though. They're like, all right. Well, first of all, I had the cameras. I showed you on my phone.
You
We
are
had.
in a business
And
where the
you're bringing in so
government
much
is
money, dude.
trying to shut you down all the time. You know this.
100%.
I'm not in the business, and I know that they're constantly messing with them, trying to shut them down
And you
for
can't-
not
you can't-
doing things.
You can't be lacking
appropriately.
like that.
And you can't be lacking.
No,
in
you really
20
can't.
different ways, man.
You can't okay, you got a blind, your fucking cameras are not up right now, but I reconfigured it afterwards. You know how many times I've been in court and be like, well, I could have done it afterwards. I ain't never done that. Why? Because they would look at me and say I'm stupid.
Yeah.
They're just gonna say, it's like, well, I could have just done it afterwards and you wouldn't have found me. Well, look,
Yeah, that
Yup.
doesn't work.
So that one,
hurts.
I don't know. That's my biased opinion on that. It really doesn't look good for them
For
right
sure.
now, honestly. Because then there's the food license. They say they had it. Just the people there didn't know. Like, say someone didn't know what a certificate was. There should be somebody there at all times. And obviously, if you're at night not operating, cool. But when there's people in that building, there should be at least one motherfucker in there that knows what's what. So when that does happen,
Well, you always got to have somebody there that can,
Yeah.
that knows the operations.
that's what I mean though. So when someone does come in and they're like, "Hey,
It'd
dude,
be
what's
like
going
if
on?"
you walked into McDonald's and there's no manager on duty. You'd be like, oh, okay, somebody's got to call corporate because that's not right.
Yeah, and we're gonna
As in,
wait 4 days for that.
but only it's, I mean, McDonald's is a big corporation, but these weed companies are making money quick.
Yeah.
So
And they spent a lot of money to get there. So that's nothing that gets me is I know damn well they spent.
you there should be a guy who's on salary, who's always there, who's, there's that guy should be there 24/7, or
If you ain't got
you have
someone-
a couple guys on salary and they take turns.
and honestly,
One's always there.
if not, whoever you started the business with, have one of you motherfuckers there. Because guess what? Now homie came in, they seen all this, and they said, "Hey, this is wrong," and now you're sitting there and you're kind of in a shit spot.
I mean, I know, like, I've worked at fast food restaurants and stuff before that have had like military cots in the back in case you got to sleep there because of snowstorms or any other thing, and they're not making nearly as much money as, like, you know, that one store is not making nearly as much money as a dispensary is.
Oh yeah.
So,
Oh, yeah.
bro, throw a cot in the back, and if somebody's got to sleep there, sleep there. You know how much money's on the line? What are you doing?
You are either setting yourself up or tearing yourself down for about 4 generations.
You can't do that. You can't mess up that many times.
So those were the big ones.
Man, that hurts.
So those were the big ones. The failure to the testing of the cannabis, the failure to provide the paperwork for the testing. They say, well, we did, right? They say we did do that. The addition of
some of this stuff will be hopefully it goes the length and it gets sorted out in court, because I would hate for this to be
properly.
I would hate for this to just be a bully act, and they're like, "Oh, you're gonna sue us? We're gonna sue you," and then both just
Everyone's
drop the
standing there with their
lawsuit.
dicks in their hands.
Well,
for
yeah,
no
and then
reason.
they just both drop the lawsuits to avoid the
I
cost
see
and
you.
everything else.
So
and
they got the
time.
failure to test, the addition of Delta, which they say is natural. The Delta and the terps, they say that's natural.
Well, this needs to be sorted out. It does
Because
to be
I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm
clear winner and a
pissed
clear loser.
about
There
that.
has to be.
About that dumbass Pineapple Express card. It was trash, and you know it was. So
Yeah,
if
I
you're
know, but
watching
if
this,
you-
dude, yeah.
But if you
I see
leave
you.
it, even if I was
Fuckers.
Badlands as a company, dude, I would
They were
want
doing-
this. I would want this to come out in court if those things are true. I would want this to all come out and just everything be cleared up.
And honestly,
Because
dude,
it's not just your, the money on the line. It's your brand, your name is on the line.
and if they're wrong, prove them wrong.
Yeah,
prove them
and if
wrong.
the state, your government came at you or whatever, the federal government came at you in the wrong way, put them in their place for sure.
Yep.
But let it come out so you're not looking shady. Because if this just gets settled out of court and both people drop the thing, it's still going to be a shady situation to me.
Oh, here's one I missed, right? The material non-compliance with inventory record keeping for transfer, testing, and transactions.
You can't be missing records on anything.
Your paper trail of sales and paperwork and this and that, they didn't have it. They either didn't have it or they couldn't find it at the time, and those are things that you need to have out there. You're telling me if you come in here like, hey, you brought in about $3 million, give me the paperwork. You're fucking a federal or state taxable fucking thing. Show me your paperwork. If I look back and go, I don't got it right now, they're gonna be like, oh, you can leave right now. So,
Oh, Mr. Snipes, you're going to be going to prison for a little bit.
too soon. Too soon.
Nah, he's out. He's working again, dude. He's a
Oh,
bad.
fuck him.
He's a bad dude, man.
He's got a place.
No
He's got
disrespect.
a special place in my heart.
No disrespect. All them old school action heroes. Much love, dude. Much love. You got me through my shitty childhood.
I was about to say he did it the best. He did
My
it the best.
childhood wasn't like all shitty. It had good moments, just like any childhood. But there was a lot of times when I needed a decent male role model and I didn't have one around. So, like, action heroes were my role model, dude.
Just fucking Wesley
And
Snipes in the
honestly-
corner in the.
Honestly, it gave me pretty good morals, Always do the right thing, stand up for those who can't stand up for themselves, stuff like that.
304s.
And
Oh.
it ended up making me somebody who can raise kids and all kinds of stuff. Like,
But anyways,
I was much better before I got downsized by this heart attack. I was much more of a contributor to society.
don't be a pussy.
Yeah, I know. I'm just drinking a cup of coffee, smoke a cigarette.
Yeah, that's what Tate
and
said.
get back
Smoke
in
a
the
cigarette, drink
game.
a cup of coffee. Don't be a
and
pussy. Have a heart
get
attack.
Back in the game.
Have a
And
fucking
it's
heart
like,
attack.
no, I'm exactly not supposed to do those two things.
dog.
100%. Those are both very bad things for me to do. I'm gonna smoke a cigarette, drink a cup of coffee, run a marathon, and then get back in the game as a body.
But so as of right now, those are basically the gist. That's the gist of it.
That's the gist. That's what we know. That's what you can figure out.
And honestly, that's literally just from me Googling. Like I said, I read it and do it before, but I wasn't really memorizing everything. So that's just from me Googling it. But right now, it doesn't look good.
Well, then
doesn't look good.
we know how much like switching over to Google and reading a whole couple of pages of stuff in legal jargon by yourself is boring, dude.
That's just a fucking rabbit hole. dude.
Yeah, and
It's a rabbit hole.
It's easy to lose concentration on it, and having us talk about it, maybe that helped.
But one
maybe
thing-
that helped
one thing
you
I've-
have a better view of what's actually going on.
One thing I've noticed though is a lot of what is in this is Well, we got it, but just not right now. Well, we do have it, but we told you now.
Can't do
A lot of these is, and they have said that they've informed the DOH, and they've informed the DOH, but like when you needed to, you did not. That's
well,
that.
yeah, when you were put on the spot, you didn't have what you were supposed to have.
Yeah, 100%.
Put on the spot.
Someone paid you for a job, and when that day came, it wasn't done, and then you're like, well, it'll be good tomorrow. I don't think that's how that works.
No.
Honestly.
Yeah.
So right now, it's not looking good for him. Honestly, if it does, if it plays out, I'm gonna be looking in here there. If it plays out in their favor, I hope it does. But if they're being shysty, then I hope it works itself out that way. But I'm gonna say right now, it ain't looking good for him.
Dude,
Not in my opinion.
Messed up Easter egg over here.
Oh, messed up Easter egg. One of the ones you dropped
Like
in two different colors.
If Easter eggs were people and you could give them mushrooms,
Jesus Christ.
this is what a motherfucking Easter egg would look like. Or I'm
He
a
looks
guy.
like- he
I'm a
looks-
damn
he
fall
looks like
guy.
the Beans game.
I'm a fucking fall guy.
Oh,
dude.
Fall
Look
Guys?
at this shit.
Yeah.
Fall Guy.
Look at me.
You got the glitzy spacewalkers on next. Oh, that's fucking amazing, dude.
Shit, bro.
So 605 Cannabis has failed horribly so far, in my
For
opinion.
sure. And
Y'all fucked up.
what was that bud? Where was that bud from? That was Rare Earth, right?
Oh, that power nap.
We're gonna give a big nice shout out. If you haven't
Honestly?
tried anything from Rare Earth, go ahead and give them a shot, dude. It was nice. It had a nice punch to it. Lasts a nice good
This
long
is
time.
honestly a solid 8.5. Smells good, looks good, good structure. Haven't found a seed yet.
For sure.
I'm gonna give it that just because it is really sweet on the back end and it is a little scraggly. Y'all could trim up a little better. I see you. I assume you're just using an automatic trimmer. What do you-
no
what?
seeds.
Not yet.
No seeds.
Not yet. But you see what I mean? Scraggly.
Well, yeah, but I mean, if that stuff's got sticky sparkles on it, you know, sometimes it's hard to cut it all off.
Well, yeah, in a lot of places they use automatic trimmers. Hand trimming is always the best, but they use automatic
Yeah,
trimmers.
but I mean, once you get to a certain size,
Yeah, once you
shit, screw it. Just hire more people, man. I ain't doing nothing.
You know how much? You know how much do they do this thing in Colorado, bro? They do this.
You ain't
thing.
really got to pay me much either. Cause,
No, they do this thing in
just love
Colorado where, like, if you work at a dispensary as a trimmer, they'll do a thing like, all right, everyone's gonna trim for 3 days. Last 3 people get fired.
Mm.
All right, you pushing out thousands of grams of trimming.
Yeah, but
day.
you're also encouraging people to let shit slide. that
Well,
they
that's
shouldn't.
another thing though. Is when you're
That's-
trimming it, hand trimming it, you get the finger hash from it, and then you
Quality
got to
over
make sure it's done
quantity,
upright.
man.
If one dude's leaving scraggles, the other dude's picture perfect.
Yeah, but you can easily grab a bud by the stem and trim it and not knock off as much stuff. You know, turn it, trim it.
Have you trimmed a bud before?
I've trimmed buds before.
Oh, because the last time I did it, it was fucking choppy, dog.
Well, no
It was
shit. I'm
so
not saying
choppy, bro.
saying my work would be good, but I've done it back in the day when nobody was showing anybody how.
You had a fucking little razor blade.
You had
just
to know a
chopping it off,
guy
dude.
that lived in a van behind a place to find out how to grow the right weed. And he'd take you to a spot out in the fucking woods where nobody else went. And you'd be like, well, either he's going to show me a nice little patch of weed or this motherfucker's going to bury me out here. And that's how much we loved weed back in the day. We would go with scary guys out in the woods.
When times were good and times were simple. Times were simple, then.
Mhm.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Only had to suck that one dick, dude. Good times. Shout out again, man. Shout out again, man. Rare Earth, dude. Power nap. Give it a try, dude. I mean, I'd say give another brand a try, but aim for high THC because they're doing it right with that.
I
then,
don't know. High THC isn't a huge thing to me.
That's gonna be the first. This is just the first part of this 420 special that we're bringing to everybody. This is just the first part of it. We're gonna add on right here. We're gonna go out and we're gonna try this. What is this? This Citrus Rush by Cannonauts.
Some nasty ass raps you got, bro.
Dude, I love it. I love that you hate
Fucking
them,
disgusting,
dude. It
dude.
makes them that much better for me. I can taste the flavor and your disgust, and it makes it so delicious.
I fucking hate it,
Okay,
dude.
and then you got...
I fucking hate this. So nasty, dude.
Damn, it gave me... There's no big buds in here. Definitely small buds.
Wow, who's that from? Who's that from again?
This is from Cannonauts.
Cannonauts.
Small little popcorn looking buds.
I can hear you smelling in that.
You can hear my whistle in my nose because I ain't picking
Hey, I like
it.
that. This is good. This is fresh. Are they all little popcorn buds like this?
It's looking like it. We're gonna go out and we're gonna smoke some, and if we find a bigger bud, we will bring it in to show everybody. But this is by a different company. First one was Rare Earth, and it was delightful.
They did good. It did good.
Yeah.
I walked into Canacare and I started
what would
looking.
you rate that? Let's give it a number. What would you rate that?
8.5, solid 8.5.
I want to change my rating on the Gushers, by the way. That Gushers did not cure my anxiety. I would drop that Gushers down to a 4.
I enjoyed the Gushers just because it was a nice smoke.
I had to mix it with something else.
It was a nice smoke. That's what it was.
Yeah.
It was a nice leisurely smoke.
Now, what'd you give this?
I'm giving this a solid 8.5.
That's going to be a solid 8.5.
Solid
I
8.5.
would agree.
Solid, like solid, 100% 8.5.
8.5, if not, if
I
not
want it
7.5.
Yeah, that's about
damn
8.8,
good,
about
dude.
8.75, honestly. But
Very good. The high last nice. It's a consistent high. It was nice, man. It was. I mean, as far as trying a new company, that was extremely good. Shout out to Pitbull Acres.
yeah,
again,
honestly, dude, for a new
Once again,
company, for the first
always.
one run through of a new cultivator, fucking props. I'm gonna grab another one.
Yeah, Rare Earth. Check them out, dude.
That one's worth your time.
All right, let's go try this stuff out.
Let's get started the videos now. It's just BK
How
clapping.
he pulls off just a single clap of the cheeks is very impressive.
Just one throwback, real
Just
quick.
one cracks it like a whip.
That's the one.
Yeah,
That's
BK cracks it like a whip.
Oh.
Happy birthday.
Yeah, by the way,
BK.
happy birthday, BK. Thank you for
The
coming out
day-
and sacrificing
the day
your day
of filming.
Thank you for sacrificing your day to come out here while
Yeah.
we talk shit about them thick cheeks you
His
got.
birthday is today, not the day this comes out, but the
No,
day
no, no,
we're
no, no, no.
recording
We are. This is not recorded
This
on
is his
420. This is a
day.
different day.
Hell yeah!
But so we did. What was that? What was that called?
That was.
What did we just get done smoking? I fucking forgot already. Must not be
That
bad.
was Citrus Rush, and it was from Canna Knots.
Cannon nuts. That's right.
Yes, both the weeds were mid 20%.
They both got a nice
THC.
vibe to them, but I'm gonna tell you right now that fucking Citrus Rush had so much terps in that
Too many terps.
poop ass wrap you brought. Did not help.
Oh,
But here's the thing:
rap
is
may have saved it, but even with
even with that
even
poop ass
with the
wrap, you
wrap,
could still taste it.
all I tasted was terps. The
Straight
The
terps.
first few times I hit it, all I tasted was the terps.
I got halfway
That's
through and
too
still
much.
tasted terps, dude.
That's too much. It wasn't.
A lot of the buds were really larfy, almost
Yeah.
larfy little guys too.
Yeah, it was all little popcorn buds.
Yeah, almost
All
like.
little tiny. Not even one I can
Turn
show
my lights
you.
on, boys.
Hey, it's time for you to pay attention and do a podcast.
I'm gotta make sure the lights get turned on. No, it was little
Oh,
larfy
shit.
buds. Honestly, there was some shake in there. It wasn't too bad. Got a good high though.
Yeah, it had a good high off of it. I mean, if you like terps, I mean, it'd be a good bud. It's a good high, nice, decent high. I wouldn't
I'm going
pick it up
6.
again.
I'm going 6.
Yeah, I'd
6.
probably go like a 5.
I'm going 6. I'm
I'd go
going
like a
6
5
because
just
it's got a good buzz.
Yeah, I'm
going 6 'cause it's got a good
anti-terps.
buzz.
I'm anti-terps, but it has a good buzz, so I'm gonna meet it right in the middle.
I shouldn't be able to hit that shit and wonder what the fuck is that on my tongue when I'm done, just because of the
Yeah.
taste. That's So yeah, it's a little high too. It might just be that strain too.
Yeah,
But
it might just be that strain, but
I'll give it a 6.
it did deliver on the amount of THC. That's Canna Knots once again.
I don't pay attention to that. I
What?
don't.
You don't pay attention to the percentage?
No, not at all.
I do because I want to see if it delivers, and then if I know what delivers in most brands, like if I know a good 24 to 25% usually does me fantastic.
Yeah, I
And
suppose.
if I
Yeah.
buy one that says it's 24, 25% and it doesn't deliver, I'll know
Yeah,
that it's off.
Yeah.
At least comparatively to other brands, and I won't fuck with them no more.
yeah. Honestly though, I don't know. Percentages are cool, but I never really paid attention to them. I usually just
I don't
smoke it.
pay attention to like sativa stuff like that.
No, dude. No.
I don't really fuck with sativas in the first place.
Percentages are cool once you start getting up higher because you're like, oh, that says it's like 30 something. I'll try that, see if it does smack a little bit. So I get that. But like when I'm normally just like going around, just going to any dispos or something, I don't check percentages. I usually look, they usually give you a little something you can see, and I'm usually like, well, let me see that. That looks about right. That looks about right. Oh, let's try it. Let's
Well,
try
the one that you picked today too was also one of the highest percentage ones that they had.
it. Dude, I just walked in and it said power nap, and I said, give me that.
Yeah,
I said,
and then
"Give me
then the guy proceeded to tell you like how beautiful it looked and stuff.
I didn't even look at it until after I already said, give me that.
Oh, the nug that was in there.
Oh, yeah, the
was
nug that was in there was nice.
gorgeous.
But come on, it said power nap. You got to grab that.
Yeah.
You fucking got to grab
Well,
it.
and it didn't put either one of us out.
No,
you know.
honestly. And I'm hungover and I didn't go to bed. That's pretty fucking decent, honestly.
Yeah.
Almost disappointing. You call it power nap, and I'm not trying to go.
Well, I mean, but if I was to smoke that, tonight, at the end of the night, smoke that before I go to bed, maybe it would hit different.
Yeah, it might smack
You
a bit
know.
different.
It did provide a decent high.
I will give it that.
So-
That citrus stuff has really uppity vibe to it. I'll give it that.
Yeah, it has more of an uppity vibe to it. Not enough to like mess with me, you know, anxiety wise or anything like that.
So not like your uncle.
No.
Okay.
No, I didn't really have diddly uncles. I had violent uncles for sure.
You don't got no weird memory of just looking up in the closet and seeing Hi Ho Cheerio.
No, I don't. There's a lot of years from my childhood I don't remember.
Damn, I might need therapy.
I did that for a little bit.
Nah,
This is my therapy now.
I call that. But no, they did decent. Honestly, both those brands did good today. And Canicare did really good. I kind of like them. They do have a small shop, but their hours of operation, the people are nice.
A big fan of the crew that they have there because the people that work there, like if you grew up in the 70s, it would have been the people your parents told you not to hang out with. It would have been like,
100%.
don't hang out with that long-haired hippie-looking person. But these are people that, you know, just like a lot of hippies in the day that work jobs and, you know, do stuff.
Did hippies work jobs back then?
I mean,
Or they just sell
true
acid?
hippies did not.
I was about
but
to
they
say, no, them motherfuckers-
They still had. Everybody had a side hustle where they made money. There's no way.
I was about to say
they
those are the
used
people sitting there
capitalism
selling.
even while they said that capitalism was crap.
Those are the people sitting there selling dollar tabs of acid back when acid was acid.
But yeah, but most of the people that make acid have died. There's only a couple people
There's
left
like- I
that
think there's
know
like-
how to make acid appropriately.
I think there's like 5 actual people in America
I don't know. There was a special on it on something.
on Vice. It was on Vice.
No, I don't think it was
Wasn't
on
Vice?
but it was. They talked to 2 of the guys that are left.
Yeah, I know there's only like 3 to 5.
And then those guys proceeded to sit and talk about which drugs they came up with. And they're like, okay, I did this one. And then after that
Hey,
one,
I
I
seen
came
that.
up with this.
I seen
And then
that.
I came up, and then in, 1982, I came up with this one. And like, it was.
I
yeah.
seen that shit actually. That's actually kind of crazy.
Yeah,
kinda
because it's
crazy.
legit. The guys that did it are legit chemists. Like, they're very intelligent people that did it, you know, smarter than me, anyways. So,
Oh,
at the
dude.
very least,
Dude, I can't.
mildly intelligent.
I gotta go water them plants tonight. That's what I gotta do, honestly.
Yeah.
I gotta go check them out. Y'all
They're
are
probably
gonna, y'all are
gonna
gonna
be
lose. Y'all are
sad
gonna
and
lose your
droopy.
shit. I done pulled one off the other day, and it's looking pretty fucking primo.
Yeah,
Pretty fucking primo.
for sure.
Tell you right now, I've killed a cactus before, dog. I never grow nothing, but I killed a cactus. But
Yeah.
my ladies are doing damn good. That's looking nice. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, what you got? 3 of them?
Yeah. That's what you're allowed. is
All 3 of them are still, they're still going, right? Like,
Yeah, no, they're going.
there
They're alive.
isn't like one that's lacking or.
There's one. Okay, what's funny about that is there's
I know there's one that's smaller.
I was about to say what's
But
funny about that.
Is it lacking or not?
Actually, the smaller one took back and actually helped heal itself better because I did this underwatering. So in this point where they're just eating everything up. The little one actually bounced back and has been fucking pristine. It's the big ones now I'm having trouble with.
Yeah, well, they probably need more.
They need more and they need bigger pots, but I'm also to the point where I can't put them in a bigger pot. It's gonna be a whole big fucking thing. They're just living out their life. They're just gonna live out their life. Fuck it.
Well, then hit them with the flower.
I might do
Take the
I was thinking I might do a no-till bed next time. I might do a no-till bed. Essentially, it's just a big old bed full of soil.
I'm gonna nod as if I know what you're talking about.
Oh, dude, no, it's just a whole big bed full of soil and it'll be organic on it. So that way you can just reuse it and you don't have to keep doing it again.
Organic, duh.
Duh. Bag fed, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
Bottle fed is it's for if anyone says that their grow is synthetic. For those who don't know, synthetic is just salt-based nutrients. That's all it is. And 90% of what you
What's the
get,
difference between that and regular nutrients?
that's usually what regular nutrients are, is salt-based nutrients, and it's usually synthetic.
So,
Everything in a bottle, probably synthetic.
okay, so is that something you recommend using or something you would avoid?
It's honestly all about personal opinion. So synthetic can be really good depending on what you're doing. Some people just don't like it. At the same time, the whole organic side of it does really well. It does really well and it saves you money. So like that no-till, so this next harvest I got to go buy more soil and more, all that shit. But if I get a good steady soil bed going, keep that ecosystem alive, I don't have to buy new soil.
So you thinking about doing like compost and stuff?
Essentially, but instead of compost, I'm gonna keep that bed of soil, get that ecosystem living in there and get it right, and then just keep reusing
Well,
it.
like what I'm doing right now is I'm raking up my yard because I had the dogs shit in my yard all winter long, and then that snow melts and you just got a pile of shit out there. So I was out raking my yard, and my neighbor, he grows things in these big tubs. He grows like tomatoes, and I mean,
Yep.
and he's good at what he does.
Yep.
And then I was raking all that stuff up, and he's like, "Hey, if I know you're raking all that up anyways, and it's gonna take up room in your trash can, so like, you want to just pick the garbage out of it, try not to have plastic and shit like that in there, and then put it in this tub, and then you can dump it in this other tub behind my house, and a couple years from now, I'll use that, because he's gonna add to it the pickings from his garden, and everything's gonna go in there, and he's gonna keep stirring it, and
A good thing for that.
Compost.
A good thing for that. So essentially, basically, with that is they red worms. I think they might be red worms, but you can put worms in there in the bed of soil, and what that'll do is they'll decompose it and everything.
The soil behind my house I literally can't take the small gardening shovel, and dig out a scoop of dirt in my backyard without finding a worm in it.
Well, yeah, but at the same time, cannabis is this weird thing. You really have to have it right, because it's got to have the right amount of
Oh, I'm definitely not growing cannabis in my backyard. I'm just growing. I try to grow.
You should
fruits and veggies.
You should grow cannabis in your backyard. Absolutely. See if you can do some outdoor. Outdoor's crazy though. I could never. I probably can't.
I got kids, and there's too many people around the neighborhood. I can't afford cameras to keep an eye on it, because I would have to.
Some little teenagers gonna come chop your shit.
For sure. For sure. 100%.
Oh, that's gold, dude. That's golden. But no, mycelium. Mycelium is actually a really good thing to help keep that as like a compost. It's almost like a compost, but not quite. You get the ecosystem. So like, say you add compost and you build this ecosystem or whatever, but you want that compost to get out, because you don't want those things. You want it to be a soil, and you want it to be an ecosystem that you create, so it can be the right amount. Unless, obviously, if you're going outside, that's when you go in outdoor. But for what I'm doing inside, I'm making it.
Well, I think in a way, what he's going to use the stuff that I'm raking off my yard, because my yard hasn't been raked in like 3 years. So it's like leaves and, man, that sucks.
Make sure them lights get turned on, boy.
But, like I think he's just using what I have in my yard as like a base.
Yep.
And
probably.
then he's going to add the trimmings from his garden over the spring and summer. He's going to use that to add.
And then
with that and grass that gets mowed.
Okay.
That should be.
And I know that since I use Build a Soil products for soil, just because it's decent, it's a nice steady staple. I know they even sell this thing, because they even sell kits where you can buy all the ingredients in their soil and mix it together yourself. So you can buy all the ingredients separately, so you can make it piece by piece by piece by piece the way that you want, or you can also find these companies that just have it all in one. But when you're doing no-tills and beds and shit like that, it's not the worst idea to piece it together yourself, but it's also difficult. Some people got it down to a science. Some soils suck, dude. Some soils suck. Some
I
some
imagine
are okay. Some are good.
The way I think of it is, with as much attention and as much detail as you put into like growing, you almost develop like a feel for it.
Yeah.
More than like
100%.
More than like this is exactly how to do it. You kind of have to develop like you walk in. Like you said earlier, you walk in, you see your plants are kind of like look kind of sad. They're drooping a little bit. You're like, shit, I didn't water them enough. That kind of just knowing your plants and knowing how to grow, as opposed to reading a how-to guide.
Honestly, dude, since looking at my that little guy, the little guy's fucking perfect, dude. I'm pretty sure I might just not synthetic, because like I never tried, so I actually got to try something. And I know there's nutrient. That was a good way to go about it. My biggest concern was with organic, you get a lot of bugs. You get a lot of bugs. You don't get a lot of bugs, you get a lot of potential for bugs. And a lot,
but as long as you run
your thrips or your thrips, whatever you call them.
As long as you run a clean operation, and it's.
Well, yeah, but you got to think though, if I'm using the same soil for like 6 months and I'm keeping that ecosystem and the compost, not composty, but composty
if your compost is outside, but you got to put worms in there. You got to put worms in there, because the worms help break down all of the nutrients in there and decompose it better, which also gives your soil a boost. So if I'm constantly using that, I am making a prime environment for
bugs and
Aphids.
critters and anything, honestly. So that's where a lot of issues with organic comes in. It's just the fact that
So almost if you did like compost stuff, you'd have to do it in like the composting itself would have to be done
the composting itself is technically done by worms.
in a sanitary environment though.
Yep. So the
Like, you'd have to
composting
have, like,
itself,
worms and
technically,
stuff.
if you use the word composting, it would technically be done by the worms because
Yeah.
there's things in the soil, and then and worms worms is just an
But
example.
then you could like let's say you're doing it in like a plastic tub or a rubber tub.
hmm
If you had a lid for it, worms don't really need light all the time.
Yeah.
And they don't use that much oxygen. So if you open it like once a day, check it out, do what you
Yup,
gotta
yup.
do, close the lid again. You could essentially do it in a sanitary environment and avoid aphids
Yeah, you could.
and shit.
Now that I
But
think,
once you get them in there,
compost is a really bad word to use. Compost is a really bad
well,
word to use.
once you get them in there, you got to throw it out.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's the thing is
Yeah.
if you have that set up, and I mean, there's obviously ways around it, but that's the main issue that I'll probably run into with organic is pesticides. This grow I haven't had none, and then no pesticides. Fucking once again, I'm gonna knock on fucking something, but I have had no pesticides this run, no bugs, anything. I think I found a fruit fly up in that motherfucker once, and that was about it. But
Yeah, you said something about having a fruit fly. in
Yeah,
there
no, I
once and
killed
then
it.
was gone.
I killed it.
You had one. On a
Also, my
strip.
dog was rolling around in fucking dirt all day, so it was probably just fucking.
That's another thing. That's another way. You almost got to keep it sanitary, like
Oh, you do.
the way you keep a restaurant or not even a restaurant. You got to keep it more sanitary. Almost.
Every time I
the way
overwater,
you
I gotta
would
clean
keep
it.
like a hog barn or something like that.
If you flood it, you
You
gotta
almost
clean
want
it.
to keep it that kind of sanitary.
Yeah, no, 100%, 100%. The
Yeah.
more sanitary, the better. Like, obviously, like
In a controlled environment.
honestly, I got my little tenants enclosed, and every now and then I get a little some splooshes on the floor, some dirt marks, some rocks or something.
You regularly clean that up.
But if when I overwater, like if I give them a real good soak and it spills out, my wetting agent, it'll help stick, and it's just a nutrient, especially if it's a feeding day.
What's
the
a
nutrient,
wetting agent?
You know how soap and bubbles work,
I know that soap plus water makes bubbles.
right? And you know how the soap plus the water makes the bubbles more, helps it break it out evenly instead of just a dab of soap and using soap. Put the water on it, makes the bubbles, and it helps spread out that soap. It's the same way a wetting agent works with water and soil. Essentially, you put it in
So
there
a wetting agent takes the water and helps spread it out.
evenly. Yep, it helps avoid
Yeah.
dry pockets. It actually does give up bubbles every time I'm done watering. It looks like little spider webs. But
Cool.
essentially, what it does,
Also, that's that's a cool look.
yeah, totally,
So,
dude, fucking.
Beneficial in a totally unrelated
But
way.
no, all that does is it helps avoid dry pockets because
Yeah.
you don't want dry pockets because that's how you start miswatering your plants.
What's a dry pocket?
That's it, dude. And say you water your plant in one
It's
spot.
just a spot of dirt.
Say you
where-
sit there and you water your plant, right? And then all it goes is down because it's so dry, it just drops down, right? It might have not hit that spot in the corner, that spot in the middle.
So does that spot being dry that would like make it so there's no roots in that area? And
I don't know if it would be no
Do
roots.
you have to have like a nice spread out even amount of roots?
You want to, yeah. You want to.
Yeah. So
and
that
then,
would
and that's
be-
the thing though, is you got to think roots, they're growing towards what they want. So if there's a dry pocket, it's not going
it's
to grow
not gonna
there and it's going to grow
there,
everywhere
and
else.
that's
So
gonna leave you an unused
yep.
spot of
So these
realty.
wetting agents really
Okay.
help just evenly disperse your water and keep it a little bit more saturated almost in a way.
And the only reason I'm asking these questions is because I know nothing
Yeah, I go
about
on
growing
I go on
except
these
for soil, and you basically talk to your plant.
Yeah, I'll go on
and
tangents
watered
and
it
everyone will just kind of
accordingly.
look
It
at
was
me every
like
now and then.
back when I would try to grow a plant was it was almost like having a pet.
A goldfish? That's what it was. It was like having a
no,
goldfish
it
back
was
then.
more intimate than a goldfish
Oh,
because it took more time than a goldfish would.
yeah. Honestly,
Because I
these
don't
take a
know
bit.
because everybody was kind of you had the Grower's Bible that you could
Yeah.
buy,
yeah.
and then that's what pretty much everybody was using, and then only thing you had besides that was what people were saying.
And shit, then it was all fucking halfway hearsay anyways. It's still halfway hearsay, but
Yeah.
at least now there's ways about it. Because, like, you can test your soil for certain things. So you can, like, test your soil, and if you want this right, or you want the right amount of phosphorus in there, you want the right amount of whatever you want in there, yeah, that's cool. That's fine.
What's a good way to find out, like what a good phosphorus is, what a good what the levels are.
Watch, I probably said that. I know there's some. I know there's.
a plate.
I know there's. I know phosphorus isn't something that's huge. I know there's got to be a little bit in there. Nitrogen is a big one in veg state. That's a huge thing. Is nitrogen that I've learned in this first run is nitrogen is a really big one to have. You want your soil to be nitrogen rich in your veg state. So in your beginning state, you want nitrogen rich soil, but in your flowering stage, you don't really want as rich of a as much of a nitrogen rich soil because it can overdo it. So each stage of it needs different things. That's why when you in veg and flower, when you start flipping, that's when you start giving it certain nutrients and shit. But like before, if I had an issue before I flipped them in flower, and they were running out of nitrogen, I got this. It's called the protein is what it is. It's a fucking powder pack. It's a water soluble and it just nitrogen just helps put it in there.
It's called a protein pack.
It's called something protein is what it is.
Something protein.
Yeah, it's protein. It almost smells like
It's twice as good as the something protein.
Yeah, it's a something protein.
Yeah, the something protein.
Not the something. No, dude, the something.
Twice as effective.
Something protein's bogus. And then you gotta get the something protein.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I actually think the name is like a couple numbers. I forgot what it is. I just call it protein.
Whatever. We're just shooting the shit right now.
I just call it protein. Honestly,
I know that you know more about growing than I do, and we are doing a longer episode. Because we know people want more content. More stuff to watch, more things to check out. Yeah, and if people are passionate about growing, they're getting something today for sure. Well, at least to the point to where you are, where they're budding and the buds.
Yeah, dude, this is the first run.
Looking and fantastic.
This is the first run.
Yeah,
and this is the first run. I haven't had no seeds yet, no seed problems, nothing like that, no pesticides. So for my first fucking run, dude, I'm doing pretty damn good.
I'd say it's primo for sure.
For the first run, fuck yeah, it's primo.
Yeah, definitely.
Shit, I had some stuff the other day, and I sat down and I looked at it, and then I looked at the one that I nabbed off the plant. I was like, this is honestly better. I was like, I would rather take that. So I'm honestly not doing bad. So that's badass as fuck. I think I'm about 4 or 5 weeks out. Now about 4 or 5 weeks left of flower, and then it's chop, hang, dry.
And how much have you invested? Like 10. Do you know how much it raised your electric bill?
It's supposed to be like $30-$40 a month per tent per 4x4.
For how long?
Huh?
For how long?
No, it's
like how many months does it take
to raise it? Oh, for how long? How many months does it take?
Yeah,
about fucking 6 to 8.
Okay,
6 to 8.
Whatever the math is
it can be 4. It can be 4 to 8. Honestly, it can be 4 to 8, but then you're doing things early, and then you start getting into auto flowers. Some plants they got a thing where they start flowering themselves, and you pay attention to it. I don't know. It's cool, but I'd rather just do it myself.
You're shooting for like the most natural way.
I'd just rather do it myself and figure out how to do it properly.
Well, I know you add nutrients and stuff like that, but
well, yeah, but I feel like it's the best way to learn.
The most natural way to try and grow it, right?
Yeah, it's the best way to learn. They got feminized seeds. That might be cool because then I won't have so many males. Well,
yeah, but right now, you're learning crazy valuable information.
And that's why I'm doing it like that.
Because you do, yeah.
So I don't want auto flowers or nothing, because that's a crucial part, is being able to learn how to flower your plant.
You're trying to learn the mannerisms of the plant, not just, oh, this is a fast way to produce buds. And
then that's the thing. Say it gets to a point where, say I'm working for some cannabis cultivation company. It's like, oh, well, we need to pump these out. We need to pump them out. Okay, cool. Maybe I might use feminized auto flowers just because of that. But
I wouldn't. I would just be like, the reason it's so good is because of how I do it. And if I run out of a kind,
that's it.
That kind will be out until the next harvest. But I'll make a mental note to extend how much of that kind I'm growing.
Yeah.
And then
it's nothing. You got to start that's when you got to start taking clones and shit. If you find one that you really like, you really got to take clones.
You start rushing it.
You got to take clones. If you find one you like, you got to take clones, or you won't find it again.
Well, yeah, because
that's just usually how it goes.
Because a lot of times you're creating things.
Yeah.
Like you're potentially creating a new kind of bud.
To an extent, yeah. When they get like feminized seeds and shit like that, and
because you were talking about potentially crossing.
Yeah. So basically,
kinds. How would you cross a certain kinds on purpose?
I don't know the exactness of it yet because I haven't gotten that far.
Yeah, like I said, it's something you talked about potentially doing in the future.
From what I gained from it, you clone one, you clone another. You find a male, you find a female. You basically put a male in a room full of, you made them.
Put one male in a room.
Yep, you made them, and then once they mate, you clone them, and then that's the gist that I got from it. I could be completely wrong. I could be spitting bullshit right now, and I might not have any idea. But just because I haven't gotten that far of it, but that's essentially what breeding is. You're essentially making them fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're making them fuck,
Yeah,
and
just
then you
like,
get a new one.
cattle or anything.
And then they have
like that.
these things, so they go in like tiers actually. So with the seeds, they'll go in like tiers. So you can get like a Gorilla Glue GG4. Everyone knows what the hell that is. GG4, right?
Yeah.
You can get GG4 F1, GG4 F2, GG4 F3, right? And that's different phenotypes. And sometimes you get certain ones where what they'll do is they'll take the mom and the dad and they'll breed it. And then whatever that comes up, they'll breed that back to the mom. And then when that comes out, they'll take that one and breed that back to the mom.
Breeding them?
Essentially, yeah. Some of them, yeah.
Doesn't that make them
Nope.
potentially have an extra chromosome? That sounds R-worded to me.
That's right. You got to watch that one. But no, that's essentially what it comes down to is you can inbreed them. That's how they get there. That's how you isolate certain specific things. So if you ever get a pack of seeds and it's like, oh, this is like an F2, F3, it could just be a different phenotype. But when you start looking for real specific things and someone's like, yo, this is what this is going to give you, there's a really good chance that they went through the whole process of breeding this back to here and then breeding this back to here.
Downplay terps. Downplay terps.
Downplay terps. Everyone, please get rid of your
yeah.
goddamn terps, dude.
And if you're adding terps to anything, then
just fucking stop.
That should be a crime.
Just stop,
That should
dude.
be a crime.
If you got to add terps, you're not doing it right. That's all I'm going to say.
And you shouldn't be that kind of person that would do that. You can't add terps. The terps that the plant grows naturally are supposed to be how it tastes. You know?
Yeah, and that's another thing is you get all these different genetics and shit. And if you say you like terps, there's genetics with terps.
And I'm
There's genetics
not
taste a
saying that
certain
the
way.
stuff we had today had added terps at all. It seemed like it had an extremely high amount of natural terps too.
It was extremely fucking high.
Yeah.
Honestly, I really hope it's not added. I'll be salty if it is.
I wouldn't think so.
No, after the 605 thing, I don't think it would be either.
I'm not a huge fan of any added terps, so I
heard Flandreau was doing that at one point.
Yeah, I heard that they were taking bud that people weren't buying and adding terps stuff, but that's all hearrsay nonsense.
No, it was confirmed actually.
Oh well, I don't know anything.
I
Allegedly.
Son, make that one clear. Allegedly.
Shit, yeah, dude. So we did the two kinds of buds. We covered Badlands and the mistakes.
And actually, so speaking of that, I did see this thing come across my Facebook the other day that there was some other, I believe it was another podcast in the state. If y'all end up seeing this, I did not watch that. So if you feel like I'm ripping you off on the info, I am not.
Yeah, we were just winging it, you know.
But this is something that with the 605 thing that's kind of big in the industry as is. That being said, I will peep out your guys' episode and the whole thing.
Yeah, we
there.
heard there's also another South Dakota based podcast that focuses on concentrates.
Yeah. I do not know who yet, but it is something that I have heard.
But whatever, shout out to them regardless. We don't know what the name is yet.
Yeah, I don't know if that's all.
If you see it pop across your thing, give them a look.
Yeah, see what's up.
As usual, big, huge shout out to D Game Podcast
LLC.
and the D Game Productions and the D Game Studio. And hey, if you got a couple seconds and you've already liked and subscribed for what you're watching,
go check out his. If you like it, subscribe.
Why not just dip over there? D Game
without Mr. D Game Podcast LLC Productions, we would not be here today. So do us all a favor and
big shout out.
Go check him out. And if there's things that you may or may not like, and you know someone who may or may not like his content, send them that way. And if not, oh well.
Yeah, anything's good. Anything's fun.
Just support the homies.
Go ahead and check it out because that's how we get to do what we do, and that's That's how this is all possible.
Yeah. We also we got some comments earlier on our first couple of videos. I did notice we got some comments. One of them was
we will be responding to all comments.
Yep. There was a couple, and a lot of them were just some congrats, good jobs. Most of them. There was one that was nitpicking, and this is really good that there's nitpicking. There was one that said the camera quality was bad. Still learning.
Yeah, we
still working on proper camera etiquette.
Fucking Captain Skeleton Arms McGee over here, fucking pushing his hands out too far, making the camera autofocus on him because it's always got to be about him all the time. But we're figuring, we're learning as we go.
Camera etiquette.
Yeah, we did not ever claim to be professionals.
I'm a professional, just not at this.
Yeah,
not yet.
We are the self-proclaimed best flower weed show in South Dakota.
So far.
So far, still withstanding.
Yeah. So
as
yeah.
we
So
self-proclaim
far.
it.
Yeah. Yeah. Self-proclaimed. Yeah. There you go.
Yeah, man.
Can't no one knock us for that.
No, we had that was a lot of fun today. A couple really good buds. One of them just wasn't up our alley, but the high was still good. So
Both of the highs were really good, honestly. Honestly, as far as it goes, very good mood lifters. Very good mood lifters. Kind of switch your attitude up for the day. Decent mood lifters. I'll give them
for
that.
sure.
That power nap was smacking. Power nap, smacking.
Yeah. Power nap is something that I would buy, take home, put in a regular circulation.
Power nap was smacking.
Yeah.
Not the hugest fan of the Citrus Rush. Still a 6 on the Citrus Rush.
Too terpy for me.
Too terpy.
5.
Too terpy.
Yep.
I shouldn't be able to smoke a blunt that tastes like black licorice and then still taste your terps over the
that's just it. He couldn't
licorice,
even
bro.
taste my gross wrap.
It is fucking gross, dude.
All you tasted
I told
was
you.
terps.
As soon as you pulled it out, I said, that's gross. Oh, no, man.
So that's pretty powerful. I like black licorice. Anybody who doesn't, I
Fucking
think is
disgusting. Everyone tell this man he
baby.
is a fucking heathen. Do not sugarcoat the shit. No. Light this man up for this goddamn black
grown-ass
licorice,
man.
please.
That's right. Who eats
Please.
black licorice?
I fucking can't, dude. You shouldn't be eating black licorice till you're at least 60. You
And
got a little pouch and a fucking bibs.
Stoke
That's when
the
you.
fire.
That's when you eat your black licorice.
both
When you
of
got
my
the bibs with a
sons
little pouch.
also enjoy black licorice.
Oh my god, you're fucking hurting them, dude. You're hurting them, bro.
Multiplying the black licorice community.
They're gonna get bullied.
For what? For being too big of dudes?
Just black.
You're too manly, bro. I don't like the way you're so.
Oh, dude,
awesome.
they're gonna drink Yeg and lose their fucking mind.
That's just it. They're gonna be drinking like disgusting shots when
They're gonna
older,
lose.
taking them like
They're gonna
men.
try that shit one time.
While
and
the
go,
other
"Wait a
guys,
minute."
are taking shots, going.
Yeg is so fucking.
One more
gross.
time.
Never mind.
In case anybody missed it, or yeah, exactly. Something similar to a man being taken. Let's say in a violent way,
I wasn't ready for
in a
that.
dark
I wasn't ready for. That's right. You can't.
corner
El
because he
Chapo's
was
out?
out late in the wrong county, and he didn't call his family.
Is this a tangent or a
Anyway.
flashback?
Went to a cell, and there was a guy, and then
Oh, this is trauma. No, nigga, this is trauma, bro.
oh man! But as usual, if we have said anything or done anything, or
Pissed you off, offended
Yeah.
you, or twisted you the wrong
hurt
way.
your feelings, just made you feel down about
Got your little butt hurt.
yourself. Yeah, if your butt is hurt, or if you're making pearls because you got sand in your vagina,
Anything along those lines.
just remember you can't be mad at us for what we said when we were smoking that ish. All
Later,
right, happy 420, man.
Fucking right.